Hi guys, and welcome to Deck Talk, episode 4. Today I'm joined by Jeremy.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And we have a slightly different than the normal deck. As I think I said in the last episode, some decks are going to be on because they've won regional, some decks are going to be on because they're interesting. This actually, I think, kind of fits into both, in that it's done well in events and is a very interesting deck.
Thanks. It will do better when more cards come out.
Yes. So the first thing you might see on the screen with this deck called It Is Bradley's Fault, there is no characters. So yeah, I'm going to scroll down so you can see. We have a lot of attachments, a lot of locations, and a lot of events, but no characters. So I guess the question is... I've heard of in first edition there was like a 6-character deck. No characters?
Yeah. Like I was going to a store championship in Tennessee, which is about 4 hours from here because some of my friends are there. Night's Watch summer deck with only Night's Watch cards, no neutrals. Just because I figured no one in 2.0 had done it, like with no neutral, just in faction cards. And so when I told them I was coming with it, they said, one of the guys said, "Oh, I would expect nothing less than a no character deck." Let's see. Can I do it? And then it just got on my brain like, oh, I bet nobody's ever done it. Maybe even back. So I even, I texted with Dave Bamford from Banter Behind the Throne and stuff, just because I know he knows a lot of the history, trying to see if anybody's ever done no characters. Because I know there was a lot of character light decks with that Bloodthirst agenda that was in first edition.
And there was a Viper which basically couldn't be killed while he was outnumbered or something like that. So yeah, there's a couple I've heard of. Yeah,
but I wasn't sure if anyone had ever done no characters, so I was like, it's a store championship. Why not? Let's give it a try. Of course, I'd probably even tried it at a regional. It wouldn't bother me. But I was like, let's see if I can. And then a couple weeks earlier, I had one with Martell Stag with only 26 characters. So I figured that's the way it had to go because, the only way to get power without characters, Martell has all the control. So I knew it had to be the same 2 factions.
Yeah, because obviously, the IKEA set, as it's starting to become called, is obviously coming to become known, and that is a good way of getting power without really doing anything. Which, as my opponent on Octagon tonight found out, I'm a bad man. I admit it. So, did the plots change from the character light deck, or did they pretty much stay the same?
No, they're not exactly the same. I took out which one I took out now? Because I added the first snow of winter.
To get that second reset, which gets rid of all the light characters.
And especially against Night's Watch.
Yeah.
Because I knew I already would struggle against them as I did even in the 26 character deck. So I ended up, I took out Fallen from Favor because Fallen from Favor was the way to get berries in the other deck.
Right. Okay. That makes sense.
Oh. And then the 7th plot is like dealer's choice. I don't know if that's a phrase in the UK, but here's in America, like confiscation if you think you're going to see a lot of Stark because you don't want to get frozen solid.
Yeah.
I even think fortified position.
Yeah.
You're not going to run any characters.
Like especially like the new Aemon coming out, which could be a slight issue for this deck.
Oh yeah, yep.
That could be quite good to blank him for a turn.
Yeah, and then anything with high gold because that will help you win Dom, like that late summer feast. They're obviously not going to trigger it.
No.
You're not going to win it. So that's 9 gold right there. Or even Fallen from Favor again, just because it's 7 gold and 7 reserve.
Yeah, there's so yeah. So there's obviously a few options. Obviously, I have a feeling Stark might be making a bit of a comeback soon with a kind of free frozen solid free milk deck.
So
and the Heath Guard, is it, to basically stop all the jumping tech?
Oh right, yeah.
So I think that could be. I think that so if that sorry,
bar on the gates. You could use that as your 7th plot too.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad on here. Although you're not gonna. You won't be stopping New March from bringing anyone in because that'd be on her own. Oh no, you might actually if you time their wildfire right.
Right, or their Lanny Reigns or any of that stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so the other one I had considered actually because of the new box, and I didn't know if you had considered this, would be you could actually run 3 varies now with that new event. 2 gold, bring in a dominance action, bring in a neutral character. Also, an action, bring in a neutral character for the phase.
So I have indeed built a deck.
Okay.
If you want, it's running 3 of the last giants, 3 pyromancers, 3 varies.
Let's bring up in here.
Try to also counter.
Yeah, because I just thought I was looking at the pack today in a bit more detail because we've actually finally got it, and I kind of thought. You obviously don't care about the Intimidate, but you bring him into the end of the phase, but by then you've triggered Varus anyway, and a surprise Varus like that could be quite...
Yeah, and the good thing is he's gone, so he doesn't go to the dead pile.
Yeah.
Right. And you could even be more tricky, I think, too. Like, if you can get off, like, say, Vengeance for Elion, they're military and they don't have a lot of characters, you could drop in a surprise like Wildland Horde and just smash him with another military and just let him die. That you could do. You could drop in, like after they went, you could be really tricky and drop in like a Jack and a Gull and then and then let Jack and die.
Yeah, just kill the character you need to kill and then yes. So the attachments, the main thing I want to ask here, because I already know one of the questions of the Barra, but we'll hit the Barra cards in a minute. How come I assume just the 3 condemned because obviously you don't want power to be stolen from you,
right?
Over the other attachments, which you don't necessarily care about as much about.
Yeah, and in the version I did play, because this is an updated version that I thought of after actually getting some games in with it. In the version I did play, it had 3 attainted,
as well as condemned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because I wasn't running unbowed, unbent.
Right, which is probably...
I still question whether it's good or not. We'll have to see, just because, like I said, I haven't played with this updated version, but the more I think about it, you have to be second player. I don't know how much I'll be second player because all the initiative is low.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Because also, once your opponent kind of realizes what you're doing, he's going to make you go first.
Yeah, so that might just need to get chucked too eventually.
Okay. But obviously, yeah, so obviously, free milk makes sense. Free stinking drunk, just to annoy... I assume just to annoy the characters, which as they, the cat like a Renly or a Bob who's going to rack up power quickly, just to slow them down.
Yeah, and just because you have to have 12 bearer cards, because realistically, like I actually didn't even use Motley and Stinking Drunk that much in the times that I've played, just because they're, you would think people could get characters out, but they can't.
I kind of want to make a
on the board.
I kind of want to make a banner card for you. It just says, what's it? Banner to the painted table.
Yeah,
because that's all you're really gone for Barra for, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the only card I need. And you could run, like, if you really wanted to put some characters in, of course, drop one of the attachments or the port and put in Vanguard Lancer, right? Because he's good because he slows them down a little bit.
Yeah. Cheap character just to take a power off them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's probably not a bad idea. It wouldn't be a new character to the deck then, though, so it would break the theme.
That's why this isn't the version with Last of the Giants and Varies.
Yeah. So obviously going on for the rest of going to the locations, obviously you got a bit of the econ. Obviously the first thing I kind of almost said the daft question of why is there no King's Roads, but yeah, that's pretty obvious when I thought about it for about 2 seconds. Obviously Gaston Grey, another one of those annoying cards which stops them from wanting to get their big character into a challenge. Isle of Raven just to bring the Gastons back in, bring the events back in.
Isle of Ravens is so good. I mean, if you're running a control deck, you know, outside of characters, I think people need to really think about at least 2 of that. Burning on the sand so many times in my 5 games, like just recycling it over and over and over. Like it was, yeah, you recycle your Gastons, your Vengeance for Elias, and your Burning on the Sands. Those are the 3 I recycled every time, unless it was like there was just Nightmares. Then I would send that back in or something like that.
Yeah. The other thing as well is it's quite a good counter if your opponent is trying to stack his or her deck with like Bear the Maiden Fair and that type of thing.
Yeah.
It's a good counter for that. Obviously, Bone Way, because you're going to be losing some challenges. and it's a good passive power gain. Obviously, Iron Throne we talked about. Prince's Pass. Assume again you whack a Condemned on someone, they've only got 1 icon. Just basically another Gaston, effectively.
Yep, and also, well, better because it actually discards the character.
Right.
But because, I mean, just think of the monocons, right? Like, if they can't get a lot of characters out, they play their cheap characters. Like, I got attacked with reducers a lot, right? And
yeah.
So I would even chuck them. I don't care. Like,
yeah.
Board. The Mountain, one icon character.
Yeah.
You know, but yes, if a lot of them are dual icons, and so if you can take one with Condemned, and in the original I was running Confinement, but I took that out. But that would also be good. That might go back in for Unbowed, Unbroken, because like let Asha come into the challenge and then confine her and then hit her with Princess Pass. I mean Princess Pass.
Yes, yeah. I always love a Confinement as well because it's a card people forget about. So it's what I like to call a bit of a got you card because it's still quite a good card. It's just people kind of forget it exists because it's not seen common play, and all of a sudden someone plays it on you and you go, oh yeah, that's a card, isn't it? Oh.
Yep.
And the events package. Did this take much tweaking, or was this pretty much set from the start?
This is pretty much the whole thing, except for I added all the Dragon's Tails. Just to get more draw. You know, if they're getting Gastoned or first snowed, or they just can't play something out for some reason, giving them 2 more cards is just more cards they have to chuck.
Yeah. No,
and then it gets me to the cards I really want faster.
And I say you got the Burning on the Sand because the challenge is going to be unopposed. There's nothing you can do about that. Obviously, reducing to 0 claim.
Watching a 2-claim power challenge get burned on the sand.
Yeah, no, it's a great card. It replaced Vengeance Freely in my Martell decks because mainly because it's cheaper to play. Viper's Eyes because you just being able to look at your opponent's hand and discard some cards is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
Endurance Name. Am I right in thinking this is mostly to win Dom?
Yeah, this is the new version. So I didn't have this at all. I unfortunately didn't think of it. I only got to play the deck twice before I played it in the tournament. Because when your opponent gets out an Iron Throne, hard to counter. And I don't even know if this will work, but that's the only answer I could think of. Is like in the later rounds. I mean, you just need 1 more gold than they have, and so there had to be something to try to counter their throne.
And obviously, you can always play it right at the end of the challenge phase, and then when they've knelt some characters, thinking they're still win Dom.
Yep.
So, obviously, Nightmares is pretty. Every deck's running 2 or 3 Nightmares. Not going to cover that.
Dude, Doran's Name is also sneaky for like Vengeance of Ellie or something. Yeah. Like, say they only have like 2 or 1 characters, and they're like, "Oh, I'm free to do this military challenge."
And then you pay on you do the combo, and they have to kill their own characters.
Yep.
Unbowed, Unbroken, Unbent, Unbroken. Sorry, which I've got a feeling we might see with the new Aemon, a combo deck of that at some point. It's very interesting. I actually had forgotten, so you mentioned it. The fact you had to not be the first player.
Right. So that's why I think that will probably go back to Confinement, but I didn't try it just because. You know, I do have three plots that could make me first, second player, and then sometimes people want to go first. So,
yeah.
But I have a feeling it'll go back to being confinement.
Yeah, and obviously, be able to stop them from initiating one challenge is not awful, but at the same time, especially if. But then I guess again, people probably are going to concentrate on power. If I was playing against you, I'd want to do the power challenge first because that's the challenge I actually care about. And then you don't necessarily care if they can't do an intrigue or a military, I guess.
Right.
So yeah. So what's the kind of when you're dealing getting the starting hand? What are you looking for?
Well, preferably, of course, you'd like to see the table and the throne. That would be great. Just because that's pretty much your win condition. Not pretty much, it is.
I guess the first turn that was something along the lines of like a Rose Road, the Bone Way, Iron Throne, and Painted Table would be pretty much your.
Oh yeah, that'd be so good. In there, right? Or I'll now in testing. Of course, I did it a couple times because I mean, you're running 3 of everything, so it might happen. But that's also where that 7th plot could be too. The 7th plot could be Feast of Crows or Winter Festival. I think I would lean towards Feast of Crows just because if you hit a summer thing, then Winter Festival's dead, and no matter what, you should have a chance with Feast of Crows to win Dom.
Yeah, because 6 gold as well. So
all control plots. So
and going with the plots.
But realistically, you want to get almost any 3-card setup because this deck can set up really bad.
Yeah, because you've basically only got 25 cards you can actually set up.
Yeah, in the finals of that tournament, I only set up a reducer. And that was on a mulligan, obviously. But, again, that game went like 9 plots. He was playing Barra Kraken. He was prepared because my other deck, the one with 26 characters, and he was going to bring it, but had to bow at the last minute. So this other gentleman made a Barra Kraken to counter the Iron Throne and Table. So he ran his own. And, of course, I ran into that. He still had no characters, but I just couldn't outpace his throne. All he had to do was keep 1 more gold to me, and that was that.
And what are you normally looking for your opening plot? Is that building orders to try and get that combo going?
It depends on what I have, of course. If I have... if I can put down the throne or the table and I redraw into the other one, then I probably don't play it. It's probably going to be depending on their setup. If they have no 4-cost characters, I'm probably going to start with first snow.
Because then if they only play 1 character down next turn, you probably march them.
Because in one game, what I did was I played first snow. All he had was a Rose Road. He played some 3 gold plot. I can't remember which. So I actually nightmares his Rose Road. So then he couldn't put out anything. Unless he had a King's Road.
And that's basically...
And then, if they have a big renowned guy and I don't have... And, maybe even if he's duped or something like that, I might even start Unexpected Delay. But us building orders was probably a lot of the opening.
And then obviously, of course, if you've basically bought yourself a turn and they've lost a turn, probably have to discard a load of characters as well.
Yeah,
load of cards. Obviously, it's an interesting one here. And I completely understand why you kind of got it, but I've never seen an unexpected delay used.
Oh, it's so. And 6 character deck. Everybody when I was showing it to people, they're like, "No, just run 1, just run 1." I was like, "No, 2. Nobody's gonna be ready for 2." Like last year when I played in a regional, I ran 3 nightmares and 3 milk, which nobody was ready for. Nobody was running 3 of each yet, at least around here. And then I was doing the whole first snow into famine.
Yeah.
That was really messing people up. So to me, it's just trying to bring something that they're not ready for.
Yeah.
For 2 unexpected delays.
And that is because obviously the only characters that can get picked, that they're having to pick one of their own characters as well.
Yeah. And if for some reason I hit a summons or a noble, or they just go first, it's even better because then I'm going to get 2 characters. If they make me first, and they're just going to pick the same character I pick.
Oh yeah. Each player picks.
Realized that when I first played the card. But yes, if you're first and you pick somebody, they can pick the same guy.
Right, of course.
Which some of my opponents did not know, and I did not tell them until they asked. When they asked, I told them.
Yeah.
I am a fair man. When he asked me, he said, "Can I pick the same guy as you?" I said, "Yes."
But I actually hadn't. I mean, I've never actually seen the plot in action, so that's part of the reason. But yeah, I didn't actually realise that. Okay, well, I think that kind of covers it, and I think we're probably ready to give this a spin and see how it works in action. Sounds
good. Well, if we don't see Barrow, we should be good. Well, a lot of people commented like, "Oh, Greyjoy has answers. This has answers," and yes, everybody does have answers, but besides an Iron Throne, you have answers to their answers. In the final round of Swiss, I played Greyjoy main. So 3 times, but I had Hand's Judgment 3 times.
The other thing as well is it's all well and good teching for a deck like this, but if you're teching for a deck like this, you're probably going to start struggling against the more mainstream decks.
Exactly. Right.
It's a trap I fell in when I was just playing against my friend's Night's Watch, where I started teching to beat Night's Watch, which then didn't help me when I didn't play to see Night's Watch.
Right, exactly. Right, you can't, because you're not going to tech to play a weird deck like this where maybe one person in a tournament is playing it.
Yeah, and you kind of just got to hope that what you've got can work against it. I've just also got to quickly say I do love the stats on here. So I've never seen a character icons with a 0 halfway up, not just at the bottom, but it's halfway up. The character strengths is just obviously nothing, and then the cost curve is. Well, I think you might need to work on this, Jeremy, because your high end is a little higher than your middle. This is going to be fun. But okay, well, guys, catch us in the next video where we will be playing with this.